Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, to create massive awakened impact for millions of souls around the planet, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman. Hello, everybody. It's so glad to be with you. Another amazing Spiritual Rockstar Podcast show. And so we're going to be here talking about one of my favorite subjects with an amazing being, JV Crum III. We're talking about Conscious Millionaire Journey to Higher Consciousness. And I'm just couldn't be more delighted for the journey we're on with JV today on this podcast. So I'm just looking forward to diving in with you in just a moment. Do you want to meditate and make money? Let it be simple. Let it be easy. Let it be fun. Go to yoursacredpurpose.com and get your free Meditate, Make Money meditation today. All right. So JV, it's so glad to have you here today.
Daniel, it is my honor, and I just want to reach out and touch the souls of everybody who is listening today, because we're all on a journey to higher consciousness. That's what we're going to talk about at Conscious Millionaire. We make money by making a positive impact and evolving our consciousness to expand it to new possibilities of how we can provide service to our clients and to the world and bring about a better world through commerce.
Absolutely. I can't wait to dive in. I mean, it is so on the same frequency length of what I love to talk about all the time as well. So guys, this is going to be a real good one. So let me tell you just a little bit more about JV here. So the question is, want to double or triple your business? Then definitely stay tuned today with this amazing show with this man known as the Conscious Millionaire Mentor. JV is a limitless mindset and strategy coach, speaker, futurist, humanitarian, and 34-time #1 international bestseller author. Okay, geez, what you're slacking there, JV, on the books. Okay, he hosts the Conscious Millionaire Show, heard by millions of listeners in 190 countries, and has graduate degrees in law, business, and psychology. JV is on a mission to help entrepreneurs make millions by making a difference. So again, so glad to have you here. JV, I remember we connected sometime, I think it was earlier this year, maybe it was last year actually. And I just was so fascinated that you were about your brand, Conscious Millionaire. And we're talking, also you said, yeah, I'm focused on being nothing right now. And I'm like, that is so cool. Like, I just wouldn't have thought that at first, just in my head about when I hear Conscious Millionaire, I was like, wow, this guy is so in tune. He's so deep, and you're manifesting all this good stuff for people in business at the same time. And you're so amazing that way. So I'm so grateful for you.
Well, I'm grateful to be here. And I think that, as we're evolving so rapidly, this decade alone, I call it the gold mine decade, because there's never been more opportunity for entrepreneurs. And that opportunity is threefold. First, there is such an uprising of consciousness is shifting. If you talk about people 40 and under, they're already 100% bought in that they want companies doing something that makes a positive impact. And they want to be investing their dollars in entrepreneurs who have products and services where the entrepreneurs and their team and their values, the vision that they have is really about transforming the world and uplifting humanity. To me, that's the kind of products and services that we're really about today. That's what people truly want. So there's this uprising of consciousness all over the world. The second part is it's never been actually easier to be an entrepreneur. I think about it. I added it up recently when I was doing some tax work, and I think we spend $1,700 a month on softwares. Some of them are $20, some are $100, but we're using millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of software if we were to develop it. But we're just taking and using our share. And for like my show, we're 6 days a week. It costs me $20 to get everybody scheduled. the fact that that exists for entrepreneurs changes the game. It makes it more possible for more people to grow as entrepreneurs. And then the third area is technology. You think about how technology is enabling us to do more. Think about 5G, but by the end of this decade, what are we going to have? 6G, 7G, and you and I don't even know what that is yet. We have artificial intelligence. We have all kinds of new algorithms. We have quantum computing. We have blockchain. All of these are coming together, and the speed of change is so fast that one of the things we have to do as human beings is learn how to adjust to a speed of change that's faster than our neural network is used to. But on the other side, you think about something like Facebook, and I'm thinking of Facebook, not promoting it or condemning it. I'm just saying, as an entity, as a platform, that's taken over 15 years to build. That kind of platform we can now build in a couple of years because of the speed of everything. So our consciousness is expanding about what's possible. Our entrepreneurship has never been more prevalent in this country or around the world. And we've got all this technology to support us. It's a cornucopia of opportunity to be of service to the world. We have never had a corporate cornucopia of opportunity like we have right now. And it's the conscious entrepreneurs that are in the best position, because they're the ones that are looking at the world problems and saying, I want to solve that. I want to make people's lives better. They're not just looking at problems in terms of, oh, how could I make a buck? They're looking at problems that how can I elevate people? And of course, they're going to want to buy my products. They're going to want to buy my programs, my services. And so I will become wealthy, but by doing something that you really feel truly matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's just is such an uprising in the consciousness is really what it is. And then we have, like you said, with technology, that last one is really anchoring with that. Like, I think that's why awakening and deepening that I talk about here all the time is so important, because until we tune in to the infinite intelligence and all knowingness that we really have within the
and not only tune into it, Daniel, but take that to a new level. One of the things that I've been in my own evolution this year, particularly consciously, is I've always been connected. Like I had my first evolved being, I call it an angel, appear to me when I was 2 and explained death to me because I had an uncle who died. I've had a lot of those kinds of experiences about being connected. But what I'm personally experiencing, and now I'm talking to many people, is it's not just about connecting, but you led with becoming nothing. Well, what that really means to me is that my ego is dissolving and I'm becoming the expression of this dimension of no time and no space. And that to me is the nothingness, where you're not a thing, but you're this entire spirit that's beginning to express through you. And I believe that is a possibility for everybody on this planet.
Right, me too. I mean, I feel that that's where we're being called. Because if the mind is the one that will say, how are we going to keep up? And is this stuff safe? Is it going to take us over AI and all this stuff? That's the fearful mind, will come up with all these ideas. When we allow ourselves to drop into, the nothingness, or whatever you want to call it, however you want to describe it, get it as centered, anchored, evolved, drop it in, land it, whatever impotent words we have to try to point to it. Like, as we get into that, then we're able to digest whatever's going on, in my opinion. Like, basically we can digest whatever's coming our way. So I feel like, don't you feel that that's basically a massive key to it all?
Well, I do. And I think you hit on something so important, Daniel: fear. Right. Yeah. So let's take COVID. I'm a futurist, so I understand COVID more than most people do. So I know, like right now, as we're doing this, we're headed into some more darkness with this. Right. Mm-hmm. So I have my K95 and N95 masks that I bought. And but there's a difference of living in fear and living in caution. So there are reasons to be cautious. And personally, when I'm out and I'm in indoor facilities, I always have a mask on because I want to protect myself, but I want to make certain that I didn't pick up something that, even though I'm not showing symptoms, I'm not transmitting it to others. If I'm outdoors and there's a large crowd, I choose to wear a mask. That's my choice. That's living in caution, but I don't have to be in fear. I just have to go, okay, there are things that I need to be cautious of, and I'm going to take steps that will protect me and other people, and live in that cautious space, but not be overwhelmed with fear.
Yeah, and we could definitely dive into that whole subject. That's a big rabbit hole right there. But what I want to do is focus it back on business for our
Yes.
listeners with this conversation. So how does that translate? Are some of us wearing these incredible N95 or whatever they're called masks? I know, like, I'm not always great with all the technical terms and stuff. It kind of drops out of my brain. But whatever it is, like, do we have an equivalent that people ought to be wearing in their business? I mean,
Yes,
is
well,
there?
we do, and really, that's a great topic, Daniel, because well, let's take the mask and then let's look at business and how does that translate. So the mask is there to reduce risk. That's its whole point. That's the whole function of a mask. Risk to me, risk to others. Well, as an entrepreneur, every decision you make has a risk component to it, right? And so, for instance, if you're building your business, and this happens a lot, because I deal with conscious entrepreneurs every day. So some conscious entrepreneurs, I happen to be a tax attorney, so I like numbers, but I totally understand that there are a lot of conscious entrepreneurs that are very visionary and they get great ideas, but they do not want to track the numbers, right? But if you don't have some mechanism set up where either you're tracking it or somebody you've hired, it could be an outsourced person. It doesn't have to be, it could be an outsourced accountant who once a month you're going to go over your numbers with. If you're not looking at those, then you're making decisions that could have high risk. And you don't know that you're taking high risk. You just go, oh, I think we'll just launch this. Well, okay, great. Where are all the leads going to come from for that launch?
Right.
But if you're not like, oh, well, I got to know where the leads come from and I got to know my conversion rate when they hit a landing page, you're not going to launch the product or service very well because you're not going to have buyers. So now you've introduced high risk into the system, not because the product or service that you're selling doesn't perform. It could be a great product or service, but if you don't have the marketing and sales component handled, you're in a very risky environment. And it's like going out to the grocery store and you're standing next to people, but you don't have a mask on. Now, so I don't think people are even appreciating that about COVID, that it's really always the same in business, is that we have to constantly be conscious, aware of the risk component of every decision we're making. Otherwise, we don't know how safe that decision actually is, or how likely that decision is to get the outcome that we want, because the risk is between the decision and the outcome.
Right. Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I do agree with that. Yeah. I mean, you could just, hey, I don't care. This will work or it won't work. I don't want to worry about all those conversion numbers, or if I have enough leads, or if it's going to work. I do think you could overdo it the other way. Like, if you get so, okay, just like with COVID, like, I'm never going out again. I wear that N85 when I sleep at night, even. Like, I'm not, no way. So
let's bring in Daniel. I think this is where conscious entrepreneurs have an up leg on just conventional entrepreneurs. And here's why. I did a masterclass this week that I taught on my chapter 7 of my book called Millionaire Inner Zone. So it's about getting in your zone, your flow zone, creating synchronicity at will. Conscious entrepreneurs are tapped in differently. And so when we get in our flow and we're creating synchronicity and we're vibrating at a higher consciousness level, now that reduces the risk. Now, I know that this is not how people typically look at it, but I want to, stay on this theme of risk. If
Right.
synchronicity is going on in your life all the time, it's how I live. It's like a crazy land for me. You know, it's like I pick up the phone and it's like, oh my God, it's Santa Claus calling. Who knew? Right. So opportunities are going to come to you. People are going to resonate with you and they're going to want to buy from you, or they're going to go, oh, what could we do together? This happens to me every day, every week. That reduces the risk because now you're introducing opportunities that can take your business where you want it to go, impacting people and making more money as well.
Right. I find success is so much easier, as everybody always says, but when you lead with, how can I just give to other people, right? Like a lot of what we do in this business, coaches, healers, trainers, we do a lot of collaboration, JV partnerships usually, or we have podcast guests on or whatever, like we do all this collaborating. And when you're focused primarily on, okay, just what from my divine download, or however you want to look at it, like, how can I serve today? Like even in ways that I have no idea.
I want to give you an example from Marie Diamond. So I interviewed Marie Diamond. She's been on the show again, but I interviewed her a couple of days ago again. And if you're not familiar with her, probably most people
I had her on the show.
Yeah. Oh, so you've had her on the show. But I mean, if you're listening and you haven't heard of her, she's, like a world expert on feng shui. She was in the movie The Secret, and she's just a really lovely human being.
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
And my work with limitless performers, most of the work I do is with high 6- and 7-figure clients who are my private clients. But I've been feeling lately, this year in particular, that I'm supposed to work with some billionaires. And so I said to Marie, because I know she works with billionaires, and I said, Marie, how should I connect? What should I do? So I'm asking a little coaching from her before we go to air. I said, what should I do? And she connects with this evolved consciousness like I do. And she goes, JV, I don't ever think about who it will be. I just ask for the guidance. Well, I'm really good at asking for guidance. She says, just ask and allow the answer to come forth. And that's how I find the billionaires. And so I'm right now this week, today and tomorrow, I will complete a new manifesting ritual that's going to be designed to attract those kinds of people, higher level people in the business world that I feel like I should be working with, and that I'm bringing something different than what they're typically, are getting. And I'm going to create a ritual. But here's the thing, Daniel. I am actually not going to create it. It's actually, I'm just asking for that ritual to come through me, so that between the guidance I get and my natural skills, I find they work together. It's not one or the other. That there's going to be a ritual that's designed, and I think by tomorrow I'll be practicing it every day for the next 30 days. And that new clients and higher clients than I've perhaps ever worked with are going to show up. And I trust that process. And that's part of living in higher consciousness, is trusting that the flow is going to occur and synchronicity is going to occur. And it doesn't mean you don't have strategic plans, but it means you're willing to throw out the strategic plan in favor of a higher consciousness plan that might reveal itself to you. It's like, I do the strategic plans, but I'm willing to throw them away.
Exactly. Because sometimes you have a strategic plan, even intuitively, it feels true and you're guided to it. And then you're like, I don't know, I feel like there's something better, and the better comes to you, right? I mean, it happens all the time. So,
well, that's synchronicity. It's the synchronicity that's going on.
Yeah. So, I totally agree. So, I got my launch plan. I'm going to come up with my event in January and everything. Yet, whatever my plans are, I've already got a baked in equation with everything I do. Like, I need to.
Well, it's interesting you said that, because the whole first part of the day, I have a 3-day plan, a 3-day program called Mindset to Millions, primarily for 6- and 7-figure entrepreneurs, but 5-figure is certainly welcome. And that's December 10th to 12th. So all this morning, I've been working on the marketing plan for the 3-day event, because even though it's almost 3 months out, you know how much work there is, right? You got to get all the affiliates, you've got to get all the landing pages. I meet Sunday with my marketing guy working on the landing pages. But what's so amazing to this is new programs are coming up that I want to offer. Like they're creating this last night and today, a whole new program I'm going to offer at the 3-day for people didn't exist 24 hours ago. And I'm going, no, this is supposed to be there. And then how do these interrelate? And then all of a sudden they all interrelate. And then there's like 3 levels that people can participate. And but what's so exciting is that I'm now beginning to visualize. I want to have 200 to 300 people there. So I'm starting to visualize who is that person and looking at it from an energetic standpoint. So yes, we're going to do a lot of affiliate marketing. We're going to do some Facebook ads. We've got, 13 webinars we're doing. All right. But underneath all of that is what we as conscious entrepreneurs have going for us, because we're going, but wait a minute. This is about literally calling forth the right people to show up, because this is going to change their lives. This is where their soul is right now. They're ready to explode. They just don't quite know how yet.
Yes.
Right?
And
then those are the people that I want to bring to this Mindset to Millions, because I'm not going to do a training that's just about information. I'm designing a 3-day immersive transformational experience where people come in the door and 3 days later, they are a different person, a higher level person, a higher conscious person, and they've got practical skills that they've developed by how they're seeing themselves, how they're thinking about their business, how they're looking at opportunities, so that they can now explode, because that's what I want for them. So I want people that are ready, that are, the word I've started using a lot, Daniel, hungry.
Right.
They're
Right.
hungry to play bigger, because it's just not acceptable anymore to be where they are at the moment. That was a good place to be, but it's no longer the place for them. They need something where they can play bigger, impact bigger, and make more money.
Exactly. Got to be hungry. Remember,
You gotta be hungry
Still
for
says
this.
it to this day. Got to be hungry.
Right.
I love
Well,
it.
and you think about it on a spiritual level,
Yeah.
no matter where you bring, whether it's from different religions, where it's trans religion, where it's, more new consciousness, the principles don't change.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
for those of us that are given something, we're supposed to do something with it. It
Mhm.
isn't like sit in the corner and meditate the rest of your life. I meditate, but it's
Right.
sit in the corner and meditate, then get up and take some action. What action should you be taking
Right.
to manifest at a higher level and impact the world? To me, it's always about how can you impact the world at a higher level?
Yeah, and JV, what's so interesting about that is for the people with the mindset that might say that like to be like, well, maybe it doesn't matter. Everything is what it is. If it'll happen, it'll happen. We're all
Yes.
in one sphere. It's just my ego that thinks I'm making anything happen anyway. So
Well, what you reminded me of is it was 1985 that I was beginning this kind of exploration, right?
Mhm.
Where I was learning to do things like hold somebody's ring and I could tell them what was going on in their life and all that. And I was fascinated by that. And I was going to channelings. I was really exploring everything.
Mhm.
But then I was reading so much of, at that point, called New Age. And now my background, my undergraduate was in philosophy. So I'm into like, we need a sound system here. And there would be this phrase that was in the 80s, it was so popular. If it's right, it will happen. And I would just retort, well, as best I could tell, a lot of stuff happens. It doesn't seem right.
Right.
Right? So it seems to me it's more true to say something like, if it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
Now that seems very true to me, but
Yeah,
that
yeah.
doesn't mean it's happening in a way that I want to champion or I want to get on board. So I think we have to get clear about the destiny and our purpose. That's where it all starts, and then create a big vision out of our purpose of what do we want to accomplish. And then we combine all these spiritual and conscious elements to help us catapult and help us move forward much more faster, create momentum in a way that if we weren't using them, we wouldn't. But but I hate to be the one, I hope I'm not the only guest to have to tell you this, but it is just true. You're going to have to do some work. I'm sorry, but this is the way.
Dang, I don't want to have to do no work.
This is the way entrepreneurship
I
works.
just want to be, is what I've heard
Yes,
so many
the
people
being,
tell
the
me over
being
the
is
years. I just
wonderful.
want to be.
And the being is where I get my best insights. Today, I'm taking 3 hours to go out in the mountains because the leaves are turning, and I'm going to be with the leaves. But I've been acting all the first part of the day.
Right. Well, and then people see being as being separate from doing. You're always doing
No,
something.
I think
So-
being for an entrepreneur, your being time is your creative visioning time. It's
right.
what I personally get my best ideas. Not
Right.
sitting at a desk. I get good ideas sitting at a desk, but I get a lot better ideas sitting by a river
Right.
or a stream or taking a hike. That's when I get true inspiration. And for me, it often comes in nature.
Right. So people just have to remember to engage what I call elements like fire and steel and details or whatever. Like actually take the steps, take the steps. Otherwise, you could just keep saying, well, let's see if it happens. I'm on the mountaintop. Did it happen yet? Like, you get off the mountaintop. You got plenty of signs to get off the mountaintop, but you're not listening because you're just having a good time on the mountaintop, So,
yeah. Well, but on the other hand, I think entrepreneurs, conscious or otherwise, oftentimes we can get so busy in our doingness and our long list of things we think that we need to get done today, that we forget that the beingness. Here's a reframe that I think is very important. Being time isn't non-entrepreneur time. It is the inspiration part of entrepreneur time. And it is just as important because it has its role to play as all that list. So if you have to give up some of the stuff getting done today so that you have that hour to be inventive and creative and innovative and allow the spirit to flow through you and ask for higher inspiration, that's where you get the great ideas. That's where you get the new product. That's where you go, oh my gosh, I need to call that person, and they become a client, or they send you to a client, or they have you on their show, or whatever it is. That's inspiration time. And I think what happens in the Western world is we discount that.
Right.
And what I'm here to tell you is it is just as important. It's all important pieces. They all have their place. It would be like you saying, oh, well, I just need to go exercise all day long and I'm never going to sleep. Well, this is not going to work.
Right.
Because in my case, I thrive better if I have 7 or 8 hours of sleep. I've learned that. I used to try the 5-hour thing. But, if I have time for my body to go through its metabolic processes and to cleanse itself so that I can awaken ready to spring forth again, that sleep time, that 1/3 of my day needs to have rest.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's totally. I mean, the foundation really is being and rest and connection, or whatever you want to call it, and then everything unfolding from that place. Really, is how I see it. So now you talk about being a millionaire, right, and help people to do that and go beyond that. So what are some of the keys? Like people could have a successful business, but maybe they're spinning around at high 5 figures, or they're in 6 figures, but they can't ever seem to get to the next level. Yeah. What are some of the keys to helping people?
I want to give you something very, very practical, because with my high-end clients who are typically paying me $50,000 or more, I want to tell you the kinds of things I work with them on. First thing I work with is mindset. So, and oftentimes it takes somebody else helping you with the mindset, because you're like the goldfish swimming around in water. But the goldfish does not know the goldfish is swimming around in water. And that water is your identity, it's your beliefs, it's your personal reality. So we need to, here's what I have learned is 100% true. Whatever your personal identity is right now, let's like who I am, this is okay for me to do. And then there are people who will say, oh, I can't contact people more than I've had people tell me this. I can't send more than 1 email a week because I'd be impolite and I'd be impositioning them. I'd say, if you don't send more than one email a week, you probably aren't going to make a lot of sales. I'm just going to tell you that right off. That's identity, right? That's identity, and that's stopping you from moving forward. Personal reality is about what you think is possible. Specifically, I call it personal reality for you, because you might go, oh yeah, Elon Musk, of course he can send somebody to, but me? Oh my gosh, no, I would never know how to even put a team together. So you're saying my personal reality doesn't allow for that to occur. So I am going to get a little in your face because I love you. And when we're love people, sometimes we have to do that tough love stuff. However much money you are producing in the last 12 months, the last 3 months, this month, that is your personal identity and personal reality manifesting forth. And here's what I think is important to remember. You can redo your marketing plan, but that alone isn't going to change the world. And you may need to redo your marketing plan, but here I can guarantee you something, because I work on mindset, strategy, and execution. That's what I do. Until you shift the interior world, you can't see the strategic world at a higher level. And so you might change the marketing plan, but even if it's a better marketing plan, the part of you that's operating right where you are in terms of personal identity and personal reality is going to stop you literally from manifesting that marketing plan fully, because you don't think it's possible. So I have a mindset show on Saturdays. I'm 6 days a week, but 5 are interviews. Saturday, it's a solo show, 10 minutes. And this week I just recorded for Saturday, 8-figure mindset. Now, the reason I did that is, even though you may right now be 5, 6, or 7 figures, you might even be a startup. Why keep thinking like a 5 or 6 or 7-figure person? Why don't you start thinking like an 8-figure person and get there faster? Because it will get you there faster. And one of the things I talked about was that 8-figure people are very focused as the CEO and founder of their business on the top 10% that actually matters. Now, it's not that their business isn't going to do the other 90%, but it's not where they should focus their energy. And the second part was that they have a great team. They bring in a team, and these are the characteristics you've got to have, because I had a business with 50 people, and this was my team. They have to be self-starters, right? They've got to be people who can create the activities and take charge of it and own it. And then once a week, in a report or a short meeting, they let you know what's going on, and you have specific metrics that they're all watching, and you're going to see those once a week. But then you're going to let them take care of this other 90%. It still has to be taken care of, but not by you. And I think one of the biggest problems 5, 6, and 7-figure entrepreneurs have is they're so busy wasting, and it is waste, their energy doing the things that are not going to move the needle.
Right.
And you either have to decide, well, on the short term, we're just not going to do those, or I'm going to find somebody I can afford. Maybe you need to hire somebody in the Philippines. I have a full-time person in the Philippines. I love her. She's fantastic. She's been with us 5 years. But in some way, you've got to refocus your time on the things that are the top 10, not even 20, top 10%. That's what I find really, truly matters. And change your mindset about who you are and what's important for you to do, because that top 10% is going to move your business forward. That bottom 90% is going to pull you down.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Wow, thanks for that. So it totally makes sense that that would be true. And I mean, then there's those that like Warren Buffett, they send out a memo once a year or something. I mean, they take it to the end.
I think Warren Buffett's at the top 1%.
Right.
He's working on the top 1%. He's doing, go analyze the business, bring me the stuff, I'll look at it and make a decision.
Right. So great. This is so awesome. And I know the audience would love to, I would think would love to receive more to, upgrade their consciousness and their mindset, because you're right. You can't you can't even envision these things. So many people are just thinking like, how do I get clients, much less how am I going to do an 8-figure business, right? So really getting it, opening up the energy channels. If the energy channels aren't open inside of us, there's no way that you'll believe it's possible. You need to open the energy channels. And I believe you have something to share with people that helps people with that, right?
Well, I do. Part of my background, I have a master's in clinical psych. That's one of my graduate degrees, but I also have 9 years of neurolinguistic programming. I trained with all the original people, and I'm certified in Ericksonian hypnosis. I had the great fortune, Milton Erickson's daughter, Carol, and I met, and I trained personally with her on Ericksonian hypnosis. So I create these hypnotic empowerment audios. And I've created this, and so many people love this audio. It's 6 minutes long. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to use it. It's called Born to Make Millions, right?
Mhm.
And I'm not going to tell you the secret that's in the middle of it. You're going to hear it. It's not like something it's embedded. You'll never know what the secret is. No, it's going to tell you the secret. And the first minute introduces it. So once you listen to the first minute, you can just forward it to minute 1. And I want you to listen to it for 30 days. And I'm going to give you a process that I will guarantee. I love to guarantee results, right? But to get the result, I'm going to guarantee you've got to do what I'm going to tell you to do. I want you to listen to it that 5 minutes in the morning. And I want you to listen to it afternoon and evening, or evening, whatever time works for you. And after you listen to it in the morning, you're going to need to put aside 10 minutes, 5 minutes to listen to it. And then I want you to write in a journal for 30 days. And for 5 minutes, I set my clock when I do my journaling, and then it goes off and I don't have to worry about when the 5 minutes is. And every sentence in that journal will start with these exact words. I was born to make millions because. So that's, I was born to make millions because, and I want you to just be present, whatever comes up, because I like wearing the color blue. All right, great. Now you do the next sentence. Now here's what's really great, because what you're doing is convincing your mind this is true. Because once your mind believes it's true, now you can manifest it. I had the good fortune, if you read the first 8 pages of my book, Conscious Millionaire, Grow Your Business by Making a Difference. When I was 5 years old, growing up out in a little country town, everybody was poor, including us. Nobody had any money. And one day I said, well, I'm going to solve this problem. Now, the problem I was solving is my mom would take me to the grocery store with her, right? Because I'm 5, she can't leave me at home. But I was told I couldn't ask for the candy bar because we didn't have enough money. And she didn't want people in the grocery store to look at her because she thought they would all know we didn't have the money. And so I was actually solving for how I could buy a candy bar. But in the process, I decided, oh, I know, I'll become a millionaire and that'll take care of the problem. And so at 5, I decided I was going to become a millionaire. And at 25, I did, because I was reprogramming my mind literally for 20 years. Now, if I'd had the internet, I think I would have gotten there a lot sooner, because that was constant. It's like, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be a millionaire. Now, at the end of 30 days, you're going to have 30 days worth of statements you've made to yourself. I was born to make millions because, and I'm going to tell you, it doesn't even matter what comes after that, because now you've got 30 days that you've been convincing your mind that, wow, if I just became a millionaire, right? I was born to take luxury vacations, because you'll begin to have stuff like that come up, right? I was born to drive a Mercedes or whatever it is for you, right? But it's also okay if it's just like, I was born to take a bath every day. All right, great. But what kind of bath did you want to take? Was it like some poor bath, or was it some like super luxurious bath you wanted to take every day, right? Yeah. So in 30 days, you will have listened to the audio 60 times. Mm-hmm. And you will have spent 5 minutes a day. You don't have to spend any longer. 5 minutes a day, that's all it takes. So this is a 15-minute program to reprogram yourself. And I guarantee you, if you will do this, it will work. Here's what will magnify it even more. Feel the words as you write them. Feel them. Feel them, because it isn't just, we talk about visualization. I have a special visualization process I teach. And part of it is tapping into your emotions, because the Heart Math Institute, if you're not familiar with that, go look up Heart Math Institute, has discovered that your mind puts out, let's say, level 1, but your heart puts out 5,000 times more energy. So think about it. When you've like had your full heart in something, even if you didn't know how you were going to do it, even if you didn't have the best skills in the room, I bet you win, because your full heart's in it. If I'm going to coach somebody, I would rather choose the person who maybe they're not as talented as person B, but by golly, they're hungry. Remember, I talked about
Right.
hungry? They're hungry. They're all in. Every week, we're going to work together. I'm going to tell them stuff to do. They're going to go do it. And this other person here is kind of comfortable. And they're going, yeah, it'd be nice if I get to this. No, oh my gosh, I don't want to work with that person. Because the moment they say, oh, it'd be nice, I'm going, okay, they're not invested.
Right.
It's when you're invested that you actually, as a little boy, I became every year more invested in this. Oh, I'm going to be a millionaire when I grow up, because I'm not going to live like this.
Right.
We didn't have money. We didn't always know where the food was coming from. And I'm going, well, this is not the way I'm going to live.
Right. Right.
Right. I was hungry to get someplace else.
Right. Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. So we'll put the link for the gift. That's incredible.
Yeah, and the link, well, I just want
consciousmillionaire.com
to say it, so in case somebody doesn't go get the link, here's the link: consciousmillionaire.com. That's my website, consciousmillionaire.com/make millions. So it's consciousmillionaire.com/make millions.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely gonna take advantage of that. That sounds really awesome. So yeah, absolutely. Once we make commit our decision and bring the house, you're right. I remember as we're beginning to wrap up here, it's like I always remember Michael Jordan saying that it stuck out to me. He says, "I'll take people with heart over talent all day long." You know, like
Right,
forget the
exactly.
talent. Like show me your heart. Show me that you're committed, and I know that we can win that. But if you got all this talent but you don't have the heart, forget about it. We're not going to make it. So
Right. Well, that's absolutely true. And so you want to be consciously connected to your mind, your heart, your body, because all three are important factors in achieving what you're here on the planet to achieve. And it's when I use this phrase, I'm clear about my purpose. And this is a phrase that came to me, 10 years ago. And I've been using it ever since. Wild horses couldn't stop me. Right? And I love that image. Like wild horses are like, they're all, they're up on their hind legs and they're trying to do everything to keep me from going through. No, they're not going to stop me.
Right.
So I love that image, and you're welcome to share it. Final comment I'd like to make is I like to share my personal motto. I've had this personal motto for over 30 years. Trust perfect timing. And for me, that is a very specific thing that when I am present, when I'm in the flow, what I have noticed is that everything that is supposed to happen, not just for me, but for humanity, for every person on the planet, happens at the right time. And here's the part that the ego, you just have to surrender, because your ego go, oh, well, but I had a plan for this to happen right now. And the person just changed the appointment. Right. And I was ready to sell them. And now they changed the appointment. Let me tell you something. They were not ready to buy. You're glad you didn't talk to them today, because they will be in a different state when you talk in the future. And so will you. And I just ask you to trust that when that happens, better things are coming. My life proves that over and over. My clients prove it over and over. When you allow the perfect timing to happen without resistance.
Right.
Doesn't mean you don't plan the appointment, but when it changes, let it change and just be good with it.
Yeah.
Don't be all stressed out. It's a better time is coming in the future.
Right. Exactly. And so it is. Outstanding. Well, as we're beginning to wrap up, can I share a couple of downloads I might have for you?
I would love them. I'm always open to receive.
All right. So let's real quick. So, and this is good for the audience to know that as I see this, they'll see it together with me. They're just showing me your oracle powers, your ability to, yeah, totally. With the futurist thing, I can see that in the third eye. Like like it's like this portal, this swirling portal, and like you can just you're really phenomenal at understanding where things are going. So yeah, I bet you can predict people's futures too, based on where they're at right now, based on, and then you can help them to shift, right? So,
Right.
okay, now on your current trajectory, like this is what I see it. Now here's what's possible, right? Now everything's possible. But yeah, you definitely have that ability, and then you're able to, yeah, one of the things that might expand for you is to increasingly be able to see it for maybe more of a collective group that is all, like maybe it's in your programs, right? But like more than that, I feel like bigger, like a bigger group, like they all opt into something that you're sharing about, like a commitment, and like, hey, let's all plug in this, like just so you said, let's do this 30 days or whatever, like, but it's creating this future that's going to make a big difference, going forward into the years. So yeah, so I see something more with that collective energy, and then let's see if I can pick up on one more thing. Yeah, just I just hear deeper. So, we're all deepening, and I just see the energy just want to continue to settle in and go deeper into, like the earth, that kind of energy. It's already pretty strong, but I just get deeper, deeper, deeper. So this infinite depth that you're embodying, the encouragement is just very simple. Just keep deepening. So I know we're on a short time frame, so I'm going to leave it at that for today. Any quick thoughts or comments on any of that?
Well, yes, I am a futurist, and I do help my clients in that specific way. I help them understand the path forward for themselves and their business, and what shifts are going to be necessary for them to manifest this future. So always, the future is out there, but we have a path between here and the future that has to be navigated. And sometimes that's where the mindset, the personal identity, the personal reality, or maybe the strategies aren't quite right, or they don't have the exact team members in place that they need. All of that has to shift in order to get to this bigger reality. But what's so exciting about it, Daniel, is helping people realize that big future that is just literally calling and waiting for them, because it is part of their purpose for being on this planet. Yes. I don't think any of us came here. This is my take on life on the planet Earth. I don't think any of us came here to play small. No. I think it's just that we haven't unlocked our inner ability to play big.
Yes. Amen. Amen. Amen, JV. And last things for me is just, if you guys want to check out what I've got going on, you can go to Your Sacred Purpose to check out that more in depth with my meditate and make money meditation that you always hear about here. It opens up your energy for more attunements and more of what's wanting to happen for you and your money and your purpose and deepening. And also I have an opportunity for an energy scan consultation right there on yoursacredpurpose.com. Also, you can join me for channeling and energy scans at Rock Your Sacred Purpose on Facebook, on my Facebook group, Rock Your Sacred Purpose, Mondays at 3 p.m. Central. Get your channelings, get your energy scans, get the wisdom that you need right now to rock your sacred purpose at Rock Your Sacred Purpose Facebook group. So those are the things I wanted to share here. And any last words from you, JV, before we complete for today?
Well, one of the things that I typically say on my own podcast is that I love the part in the middle of my broadcast, and I started this when COVID was going on, because I realized people need more support now, that it's been last year, this year's been more difficult for a lot of people. It's brought up all kinds of issues that they weren't even dealing with before. Is that I just want to reach out and give you an energetic hug and tell you I love you, I support you, I believe in you. And I am grateful that you are on this planet to create the impact you're here to make. And I want to help you any way I can to make that impact bigger, put more money in your bank, and get a life that's happy and fulfilling. So just receive my hug, my energetic love for you and just take it inside of yourself, because we all need love.
Yes, yes, and so it is. I received that as well, and thank you. And it's been so great, everything you've had to share on every level, JV. So deeply grateful you've come on the show today. So thank you so
Thank you
much.
for having me as your guest.
And thank you for everybody listening. As I always say, keep on tuning in. We'll keep on rocking it here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Till next time, everyone. Goodbye for now.
For listening to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Wednesday and Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.